how I might be able to, well, anyway.
Oh, I could do it very easily as well too. I gotta decide if I want to make a Grease Monkey script or just do a bookmark. Anyhow.
Okay.
I was thinking if I did Grease Monkey, I could be time aware, and if I started it between these times, it would call it a stand-up, and if I started it at this time, it would call it a this, and on these days. But I don't know how much time I want to spend on it. That being said, here we are. Stand-up Friday, April 30th. Greetings, all.
Greetings.
Let's mix things up. I always feel bad since Leda doesn't have video. She shows up at the bottom of the list. So why don't we start with Lily today? Do you have anything you'd like to talk about for stand-up?
Do I have anything? I guess I can do a quick share of what we did this week for the Weaver. On Monday we had the backend code meeting, and everyone made valuable feedback for the download screen. So now we made the changes, and let's see. Here is how it's going to look like. So now you download the page from a button, and it has instructions. And then if you rerun the Weaver, you only want the file, and you can just download the file instead of the package. And then here, Quentin added this nice button that collapses the code, and you can install the interview on the server before you download the package. So this whole thing looks a lot more compact.
Cool.
So that's one thing. And then I have a quick question. Let's see, where is it?
It's looking awesome.
Yeah, thanks everyone for the feedback. Okay, here I have a quick question about GitHub issues. Look at this one. Okay, this is the financial statement. We have issue number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it jumps to 7 and then 9. It just skips.
Yeah, those are the open issues. Although I don't see any closed issues, so that is interesting.
So PRs are also given issue numbers. If there was a pull request that had an issue number. Sometimes people transfer issues and then that issue will disappear. Like there are a few different ways that issue numbers will not be, that they would appear this way. See you soon, Kate.
Huh, okay. I know I didn't make a few pushes, but because we don't have people to test it yet, that's why nothing has been closed. I mean, they are all open issues, but okay, so that's check my pushes and see if there's some mess up there.
It's pull requests, not pushes, that will have issues. Pull requests. And transferred issues will just go away. They'll disappear. I don't think they'll close. They'll just.
But I don't have an pull request.
So tap on pull requests.
Pull requests.
There are 4 closed pull requests. Each of those have an issue number. So there's number 6.
Oh, I see. Thank you. Thank you. That's very nice.
You're welcome.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my update.
Perfect.
Cool. Michelle?
I haven't written up. There's a couple of issues I haven't written up. I just checked now and I have admin permission on 209A, so I can set up the testing for that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that's blocking me other than the usual stuff. The 209A motion to modify, I assume I haven't updated the spreadsheet, but that's because I'm assuming that I'm waiting for the review from Caroline, which I gave her a link to it. So, is there anything else that I need to do?
if Caroline was was having the other Kate look at it? I can't remember.
I do not remember either. I remember I was to update the interview and send a link to Caroline, and I
Yeah,
did.
I believe she was going to share it with the other case.
Okay.
I think it's probably ready to go. Any feedback would not require you to have not published it. That's my guess.
Okay, so it's ready to publish. We just want to continue to get feedback. Got it.
All right.
I will put that on my list. And I think that's it for me right now.
All right. Bryce.
Going well. I have a small subsection of the Tyler stuff done such that I can now like automatically, like there's this giant mismatch of XML files with all these court specific codes and court locations and that differ by court, that I have now set up at least set up the functionality to download all of those from scratch and like put them in like a database that we can actually easily look at. So it's not insanity trying to understand it from a bunch of different XML files. And I am like this close to getting it so you can update that without having to like re-download everything, which takes like 30 minutes to actually re-download it. But they do have a like hash code system essentially, whereas if you already have the latest version of this, you don't have to download it again. And I'm like this close to just getting that in there. And have been doing that and also trying to like map out all of the different pieces of data that we need to actually submit a court filing, which at some point, maybe a Teaching Tuesday or other stand-up thing, I'll try and ask a bunch of legal questions about like, what does this even mean? And do we need to ask the interview user about it, or can we hard code something or what? But that will be soonish, but not right now.
I feel a virtual whiteboard will come into play.
Probably.
Very exciting. Well, cool. Progress is always great. Quentin.
You are not muted, Quentin, but we cannot hear you.
Well, he's not muted. I don't know if Zoom can tell if your phone is muted actually, but.
Oh.
Well,
he's not Zoom muted.
We'll do Kate and come back to Quentin when we reestablish contact.
Cool.
I don't have anything. Is my audio working?
Your audio is working.
Okay, good. I'm having like just computer issues. I'll tell you more about them at Casual Friday.
Yay.
Yay.
Something to look forward to.
Quentin might know, but we'll let him go.
Well, we can't hear him right now. So, two sort of updates today. I'm gonna get out the final list of. So I already told you we had communicated with some folks who will be on during the summer, and those are basically sort of our.
Can you hear me now, by any chance? Sorry.
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, great.
So
I'll stand in the lead so I'm not. Oops, that one. So it's not too windy. I've been working on migrating the 209A over to the AL document class, the big project. Found some little bugs in the addenda code, which is good to resolve. And I have some interface questions that maybe I'll bring up at one of our Monday coding meetings to see if people have any brained ideas for refactoring that. But overall, just chugging along with that. I think that the 209A is ready for translation. All of that part of the migration is done. We just have a pull request that needs to be merged now that should allow us, when we get our translation done, to have it be relevant for all of our new files and any new templates that we work on. We won't have to retranslate those same strings.
Very cool. Anything else, Quentin?
No, that's it for me. Just that's most of what's been busy. I have not been able to start on the pet form. I still think that's relatively small, so hopefully that will be able to happen by the end of next week. And we'll just kind of just monitor all these things to see when we should just send it up for translation. I don't think these will affect translating what we have now. Once we get that one pull request, which just was the basic migration, it didn't migrate to ALD to the new version of assembly line and the new files that will get translated as part of that.
Cool.
Looking at the pull requests on the 209A, there is still the pull request for that infinite button press where it gets stuck, which I never said I was great following up, but the reviewers on that were Caroline and Kate. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe I can.
I was looking at that.
Yeah.
Michelle. So can you write down the steps to reproduce it? And can we confirm it actually is still a problem in the current DocAssemble branch? Because it sounded like we had found a DocAssemble bug and had a workaround. So is it still a problem?
I hadn't heard of the,
because I didn't run into it. So
I haven't heard of the workaround, but I will write down the steps to reproduce it.
In the notes, it says this is a workaround for now. That's what I thought it said in the issue.
So it's a workaround because the bug was not fixed in DocAssemble. Right? So the
Yeah, that's
workaround
what I
was
mean.
to
So is it
separate
still
out.
a bug in DocAssemble, I guess is the question.
Yeah, we're thinking maybe the bug was resolved in DocAssemble.
I know, I'm saying I had not heard of that happening. So if you're aware of it, then that's great. And we can retest it and see if it works. Sounds good.
If not, then I don't think it really needs to be reviewed by Kate or Caroline. I was going to merge it, but I was like, I didn't actually know if this is relevant to merge.
Okay.
I did not see steps to reproduce it, so I could not check it myself to see.
Okay.
Probably 2 months
maybe
ago
that
would have been fresh
conversation
enough
is-
to remember, but I just didn't know when I looked at it how to do it.
Sure. Okay.
All right.
All right.
On the summer cohort front, we've as I spoke, I think at our last meeting, we have some of the work study students already confirmed and some returning volunteers confirmed. Today, I'll be sending out the last slate of offers to people for pro bono volunteer positions. So next week we should know what that full cohort looks like. Additionally, we have I've been talking with the folks in the externship office, and the folks from Ireland so loved their experience last year that they must have said nice things to other people. So we have another externship student from Ireland who's interested in joining the team as well. So I'm going to talk with them. So I think we'll actually probably be closer to a dozen folks, many of them whom will be able to devote a rather sizable amount of time. So spending these next couple weeks thinking of projects for them and how we can hit the ground running in the 1st of June, I think would be well worth it. That being said, we also had a fun conversation with the appeals court folks, and they expressed an interest in maybe working to build a fully automated filing a brief with the appeals court, which would be a really, really great thing for self-represented litigants, I think. Our contact, I know, really wants to make it easy for people to do things. And I know some people might be cynical given some other court departments and their interest in actually helping people, but I feel that they really are interested. So that might turn into a larger project. So I'm having some back and forth with them. I think that would be a really great thing to have the appeals, whoever working on the appeal stuff work. They're also going to give us two forms for automation as well. So we can count on those 2 forms coming into June 1. And and this nebulous idea of maybe this larger project that we can think about. But that's my primary. Oh, also I had so the Ancobia group, who has been the consultants that Pew hired, who you've noticed Tony and folks sometimes in our meetings taking notes. They had their last presentation today and presented sort of a roadmap of suggested steps for us for scaling. And it won't be a surprise to anyone that the first thing that they identified is for us to flesh out our documentation and create a standard operating procedure that we can then give to people so they can work with. So, so it's nice to have the validation that, sort of around that. Anything else anyone would like to add to stand up? I saw Lisa was here briefly, but she seems to have dropped out. That darn internet connection.
Are there any documentation priorities before the summer?
I think we're going to want to think about how we're going to structure the boot camp, the little boot camp we want to have. But I don't
when
think
is that?
We'll likely do it that first week of June.
Okay.
And that'll be just to bring on everyone. So some people might start a little before that, but the plurality of folks will, so everyone would be available basically in the beginning of June. So that would be when we would bring most people on board. I think I might try to get Aubrey working on some stuff before then and have her help plan some of that, given her experience having run through that and her role this summer. So, but right now I'm letting her focus on exams. But I think we can start paying here near the end of May. So, so we'll bring her on once we're able to do that. All right. Questions or other things anyone wants to bring up? It's all right. Cool. Well, then we'll